Today, we're going to share 10 ways that we can celebrate and also support library literacy and technology skills with Storyboard That. And I have been using Storyboard That, I think, ever since Storyboard That was created. And I just am so excited to share with all of you today just a lot of the reasons why it's such a perfect tool for not only our libraries, but also for our schools too. My name is Shannon McClintock Miller. I am the district teacher librarian at Van Meter Community Schools in Iowa. And I also work with Future Ready Librarians as the library leader. You can find me on X and Instagram at Shannon M. Miller, and I blog at the Library Voice. And so some of the things that I'm going to be sharing, you can find on my blog. And I put my email in here. If you have any questions or need help with anything, please feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shannon. We at Storyboard That are so grateful for you conducting this webinar today. Such a pillar in the teaching and librarian community, and we feel very lucky to have you. So thank you for being here. My name is Leanne. I used to be a teacher also. I mostly taught 5th and 6th grade ELA and social studies for many years, and I joined Storyboard That a few years ago, and I have the pleasure of training teachers how they can use Storyboard That to enhance their curriculum. I also put my email in here. So if you have any questions after the call, please do not hesitate to reach out.
So
And mhm,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
this is the link to our slide deck. So throughout our slide deck, we have lots of links to tutorials and resources and just helpful videos throughout. So don't be afraid if you don't catch it all within this half hour. We have this slide deck for you. You can hold up your phone right now if you want to capture it. We are also going to be sending out the slide deck as well as the video of this webinar after we are finished here. All right, so I'm going to kick it off for any of our newbies who don't know anything about Storyboard That. Just what is Storyboard That? So first and foremost, it is all about our storyboard creator. We have an award-winning creator where students and teachers can create comic strips, they can create storyboards, but so much more. You can create graphic organizers, posters, worksheets. If you can imagine it, you can storyboard it. As you can see in this adorable little GIF, we have lots of customizable art that our talented artists have created. And we also access to millions of photos from a source called Photos for Class, which is a safe source for kids. There are dozens of different layouts, print, export options, and I can't wait to tell you about our brand new audio component.
So now I'm going to kick us off just by sharing these 10 ways. And we're going to start with number one. And number one, Storyboard That can be our go-to for all grades and subjects with over 5,000 amazing resources and ideas. And one thing as a librarian that I know we think a lot about is that we have limited time. If it's limited time when our kids come to the library, if it's limited time being able to go to their classroom to teach or even collaborate with our teachers. And so one thing that Storyboard That does an amazing job at is supporting us no matter what grade or subject that we are teaching. And these lesson plans and activities, they're standards aligned. And another thing that has always stood out to me about Storyboard That is that they are created by teachers. And so wonderful, wonderful worksheets, poster templates, different projects, articles, and tons of inspiration for all of us. And when we look at these lesson plans, and I think that probably some of my favorite are the ones that are around books. I'm going to share that in a second, but they're so easy to copy and just make it where it's step by step that you can walk through and be ready to go if you're in your library or in your classroom. There a lot, and through this, you'll be able to find either links or like here, there's a little tutorial. And so you can go back and look at some of these ideas too, and we'll kind of point those out as we go. One thing to too on these resources when we have things circled or we might have things highlighted, just know that all these slides also are linked to these resources, so you can click on them and get right to the page and storyboard that. But just to start like talking about ELA and also digital citizenship lessons, because we're librarians, that's a big part of what we do. And probably one of the highlights for me is the Storyboard That literature library, which is filled with dozens of books. Some old, some new. Kids love them. It's fun to be able to look through these and even be inspired by things that maybe we have forgotten about, books that would be wonderful to kind of bring back to our classrooms in our library. And as I was looking through, just getting ready for the webinar, I saw so many ideas from my own students at Van Meter. And one that really stood out to me was a Monster Calls. And it was so cool because it wasn't even part of that. And I love how, though, they use some of those ideas and inspiration, even that they find from others, to be able to pull in to tell that story. But a lot of examples, things that maybe you are using if it is for ELA, like we mentioned and showed that was Circle, or digital citizenship. I love that we don't even have to, reinvent the wheel. We can use these templates that they have to teach things that are so important for us in our library, but also in our classrooms too. And there's a storyboard that a special place also for librarians to go. It's linked in this slide and we'll share it at the end as well. But this is a great place for us to start too, to find these resources. Number 2, Storyboard That brings us real-time collaboration between students. Another thing that really stands out to me is this is the one of the only digital tools out there that has this special feature. And when I share this, not only in my school, but with other librarians around the country, I always share this, that kids can collaborate in real time in Storyboard That. It doesn't even have to be just 2 students. It could be your whole classroom. It's great for group projects, or even if they're working together with a partner. And one thing that I love about it is it's not just that collaboration that's happening on the screen. It's kids working together to create something. And so when they pair up, or even if they're working together in a small group or in a class, it's a really important skill to be able to have that. And Storyboard That gives our kids that safe, secure place that they can collaborate together. And when we're thinking about like doing something like this, the end of the school year is a great time. And one project that we did once with our second graders is we had one where every student had their own little cell, and they like got to share and talk about their favorite part of the year. But I also wanted to point out this lesson, and it's just a class portrait. And this is something that you could easily just copy that storyboard, copy the activity, and do this at the end of the year with your students. And so every student would have a place where they could pull in their character. And as you can see, there's so many ways that they can customize them and then make their class. And Storyboard That also is one of my favorite tools just to collaborate with teachers. And a project that we just did at Van Meter, this was with my 3rd grade teacher. I was actually observed during this one by my administrators. I had my observation this year, and it was a great one to do because the teacher came to me and she was teaching things about opinion writing, and also she wanted to pull in some geography. And so we did a would you rather live on a mountain or an ocean. Started out with 2 capstone ebooks that the kids read, and then they used just this graphic organizer. And you'll see that on that right-hand side that we even had little hints like the cell 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are how they would set it up then in that Storyboard That. And it was so fun to see them just take what they had learned and create these amazing storyboards. And I just love seeing all the differences and how they tell, if they would rather live by a mountain or an ocean. But a really great project, and just doing it differently, but being able to collaborate together. It is a great tool to do that because teachers love it, kids love it, and it's something that we can use for so many different subjects. And then what I did was pulled them together just on a Padlet at the end, so then kids can give feedback and they can see all of the projects together. So it's a really great tool to be able to do that too. Also, when we're thinking about that collaboration and, talking about how I used it with my third grade teacher, there are tons of resources too for social studies and also for science and of course for math. And so you can find things as you're collaborating and giving suggestions, how you can use Storyboard that to your teachers too. Number three, storyboard that is easy and intuitive for students of all ages. And I think one of the things that I really love too about storyboard that is I can show this to my class and within minutes, they're going to be successful at using it. Has really simple drag and drop features that kids of all ages can create very easily. They can find those scenes and characters on top and pull them down into the cells when they're creating their storyboard. And when I think about using it with my kids, even our youngest ones, our kindergartners have used it. It doesn't have to be, like a whole bunch of cells that they use. It can even be just one where you are having them simply like learn about it, practice, and even do something as simple as this is one when we were talking about like the end of the school year. And so really great to be able to use it with all ages. Number four is Storyboard that provides assessment and accountability features that build success for our kids. And again, it's nice because when my kids, we have that limited time. One question we had even last week was, is it saving as I work? Can we see it as we collaborate? And yes, it auto saves real-time viewing, and it's really easy, even when I shared it with my class, to share it in Google Classroom or wherever you are sharing that integration. Something too, when we talk about this is, and kind of talked about this with that third grade project, but storyboard that is a great way to have your students show what they know in a different way. One of my favorite projects we've ever done in storyboard that was when we were doing one around civil rights movement. And we had always done kind of the same report. And then I saw John Lewis speak in Washington, D.C. And so I came home and I shared his graphic novels with our fifth grade teacher and the video, we shared it with the kids. And our kids then use Storyboard that to create their own graphic novel, just like John Lewis had. And what they created that in that project just blew us away because in Storyboard that, you can pull in like the scenes they have, but even photos that they will find. And I think that's something that is also so special about Storyboard that is talking about even like primary sources and things that we want to use with our kids as we're doing that research. And the things that they created, this one is just amazing how they pulled in real photographs and also the characters to create this. And so a really neat way to do that too. Storyboard that also brings a multimedia approach to learning. And I am going to let my friend Leanne take over now.
Sure. Thank you so much, Shannon. I love seeing all of those examples. It's just incredible. So, we know that incorporating multimedia not only helps engage our students, but it also really does enhance their learning and increases their retention. So, one of the audio features that I'm so excited to tell you about that is brand new is our in creator audio. So, Storyboard that has always had an audio component, but now you can add your audio right from within the creator. So students can create their customized images, they can add dialogue, they can add description and text. And now within the creator, they can actually click a button next to the cell and start recording. So after they've created their scene, they can record themselves right in the creator, speaking over it, adding sound effects if they wish. This is such a great use case for practicing pronunciation if you are doing a world language lesson or even just your presentation skills. They could speak the dialogue in the scene if you're doing a reader's theater. They could read the text description, or maybe there is not a lot of text and the student is able to give more context around their creation with their voice. So we love this. We know that we've gotten great feedback. Teachers and students are really loving this option. Not only that, after you create, we do have a number of different presentation options. So you can turn your storyboard, that creation, into a presentation by downloading it, by turning it into a PowerPoint or Google Slides. and then adding more animations from there if you wish. You can print it out. One of my favorite ways to print it out is with the lines underneath. You could do a gallery walk around your classroom and have students write comments underneath their peer storyboards. You can also turn your storyboard into an animated GIF, which is my daughter's favorite thing to do. Make a nice large storyboard with maybe small changes in between each scene, and then turn it into an animated cartoon. Again, you can add more audio. And one of the things that our teachers love is they can add comments underneath all of the student storyboards as well. They're time stamped, so you can give comments back and forth in real time. Again, there's lots of links throughout these slides. So if we are going a little fast here, don't worry, because there are tutorials throughout for you to click through. Number 6. So we know that after the pandemic, there was an awful lot of learning loss that teachers and students were faced with. And we love that Storyboard that can really help combat that by allowing teachers to differentiate their activities. So we know that students are visual processors. Actually, I think it's about 65% of all learners are visual learners, but really everybody can benefit from visual learning. We know that if you can picture it, then you're able to understand it. And this is a really dynamic tool that allows you to reach all the different learners in your classroom. We also love that you can differentiate and scaffold your lessons because you are able to add multiple templates in our edit assignment feature. So when you create a storyboard, that assignment, it is not one size fits all. You can actually have 20 different templates for the 20 different learners in your class. The sky's the limit. And a little bit of that is shown here. So in our edit assignment feature, you can add templates, and then you can add different prompts if you wish. You could add a finish first cell if you wish, and you can make it as complicated as you would like. Again, there's a tutorial here on differentiating your assignments. And I love that Shannon shared these examples from her civil rights project that she did with her students. And you can see that honestly, everybody's output is going to be different. They might use a lot of text, they might use symbols only, they might create the scene. Because of our access to photos for class and also uploading from your computer, you can include all kinds of different imagery, not just our customizable images. Number 7. So this is one of my favorite because our artists are so talented and they really dedicate themselves to the diversity of scenes, characters, and items in the creator. We know that representation matters, and Storyboard that really prides itself on having an incredibly diverse array of characters and scenes all around the globe, all different time periods. Our goal is really for everyone to see themselves in the creator. So with access to thousands of customizable characters and scenes, if you can imagine it, you can storyboard it. We have scenes from across the world and throughout history. We have ancient civilizations units, we have fantasy novels. And because we have all of these different lesson plans, we need the art to support it. So you are going to find a scene for just about anything that you can imagine. We also have thousands of characters, wide variety of different hair and clothing styles, and all of our characters intentionally start blank so that you can customize the hair, the clothing, and the skin color to any color in the rainbow. We also have lots of animals. Everybody can find their dog or their cat as well. And the layouts are fantastic because they allow you to not just have a comic strip layout, but you can have all of these different graphic organizers at your fingertips. So whatever you are doing in your normal classroom materials, you can turn it into a storyboard that lesson. Compare and contrast cheat chart, a Frayer model, a timeline. And this just shows off some of the different layouts and how you can use them to support lots of different types of assignments. All right, number 8, storyboard that promotes active learning with the 4 C's. You've probably heard of the 4 C's before: critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. That really is at the heart of everything we do. We love that the students are the creators. They're not just passively sitting and consuming content, they are the content creators. It really helps students of all abilities reach their potential by promoting student agency, ownership, and active learning. All right, and number 9 is a little known secret on Storyboard that we have our own picture encyclopedia. This is a magical place for students to start as they learn and explore all kinds of different topics and people. So our picture encyclopedia has a vast array of images paired with the text and description. So you can use it as your research resource if you are doing something like a change maker project, but also you can have your students create their own picture encyclopedia entries. This shows how you could do something like if you are doing a change maker project, or maybe for Women's History Month, you are exploring all kinds of different influential women throughout history. You could use that. And this just shows some of our pre-made activities. When we have a pre-made activity, you get the instructions for the students, you get an example of what a student could create, and you get a pre-made template. Of course, everything is customizable, but it is a great resource to really cut down on your prep time. All
And
right,
number
and back to you, Shannon, for number 10.
Number 10, you will love the 1,000 of customizable templates and storyboard that for students, but also think of it as a great tool for us for library marketing and other school purposes. And I think that is something that is so great with all of the worksheet templates, the poster templates, and the storyboard templates. And we can make things from the templates that are great for events that we have. We have our literati book fair coming up that I'm going to use it. We have summer reading that I can't wait to use it for. And so we can show also our teachers some of the ideas that they can do too to really just create those eye-catching posters to present and display. So I really love that as well in Storyboard that. With all of the different characters, it would be fun to create even our own character that we can share, and even other teachers and even students that we want to highlight in our library as well. And so as you look at some of the templates, this is a great one because we have summer reading coming up. So kind of a little inspiration for us to use too as we're thinking about summer reading within our schools. So with all of these 10 ways to celebrate library literacy and technology skills, Storyboard that makes learning so much fun for all kids. And I love what it brings to our libraries, our school communities, and to us as teacher librarians. When I was listening to you too, share, some of the things that I think about when I'm using it with my kids is that audio is just so great now because kids can make, their learning really come to life. But some of those little features, even that you pointed out, like your daughter loving how they can, get creative and they can make like their own comic. And that's the thing that's really neat is whatever learning style they are, whatever they want to make their character look like or do, they can find it in Storyboard that. And that is what I appreciate so much on everything that you guys have given to our kids, because I think they really can find their voice and have lots of great choice too in what they're doing to love learning even more.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Shannon. So we do have a place to reach out for questions. Of course, Shannon put her email and I put my email at the top. But our general mailbox for Storyboard That is hello@storyboardthat.com. And we look at all of your questions. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we have a special offer. So thank you so much for joining us today. We don't want you to leave empty-handed. So because of this fabulous webinar hosted by Shannon, we are offering a special for $299 for you and another teacher or librarian until June 30th, 2025. This is a 2-for-1 special. It comes with all of your students, and it is valid for about a month until May 1st, 2024. How to purchase? You're going to pay online, and there is the link there. Or if you would like a quote, you can just reach out to hello@storyboardthat.com. Like I said, we also have our head of customer success, Dan, on the call right now, and he will be reaching out to you shortly with this exclusive offer, as well as a recording of this webinar. And of course, if you would like to just try out Storyboard That for free, You can always start a 14-day free trial for educators. It is right on our homepage underneath the green Create a Storyboard button. Click that, and you can try all of the features of Storyboard That. The full education edition is yours for 2 weeks for free. Oh, let me jump back. I also wanted to point out that we are going to be in Shannon's neck of the woods. Actually, we are going to Denver, and we will be at booth 474 for the ISTE 24 conference. And we would love to see you there. So if anybody from your school is going there or you are going there, please come by the booth. We would love to hook you up with some swag and just say hello.
And one more thing we wanted to share again, I don't want you guys to forget that there's a special place for us as librarians to go. So it is linked in this slide, and you can check out Storyboard That for Library and Media just to get more ideas, lots more ideas. So I know that your mind is probably filled with all these great things, but just remember you can go back, pick and choose, like even just one thing that you want to try out, by the end of the school year and do a fun project. And I know that your kids will love it too. So I hope that that is really helpful to you as well.
And thank you, first and foremost, to Shannon Miller for conducting this webinar for us. It's such a pleasure always to talk to you and hear your perspective. And we really appreciate all that you do for teachers and students. And thank you all so much for joining us today. We know that teaching is honestly one of the hardest jobs in the world. So thank you so much for all that you do. And please reach out to us soon.
We'll put the link up if anybody else needs it. And also we'll share this too. And we'll share a PDF too when you can share the recording. Thank
Yes.
you, everybody. This was so great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.